Before you even think about buying or selling a home right now, listen up. You could be leaving thousands of dollars on the table, or even worse, losing out on the home that you want, all because you didn't know about the massive shift happening behind the scenes. Right now, 44% of sellers are offering hidden deals to buyers, but not all deals are good deals, which is why in this video I'm going to be breaking down what is exactly happening, how to protect yourself, because whether you're buying or selling, missing out on this could literally cost you the deal and your wallet. What's up, guys? Anthony Esposito with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert right here in the Cleveland, Ohio area. And if you are one of the people that are looking to buy or sell, I have others just like you reaching out to me every single week. I'd be honored to help you out and be a resource for you. Contact me directly here or go in the description below. Use one of the methods I have listed there. So let's get into exactly what this 44% of sellers are offering and how it can benefit you as a buyer and a seller. So first and foremost, what are seller concessions? It's simply put, money that sellers are offering to give to you as a buyer to help you out in multiple different areas. You can use it towards your closing cost and prepaids as a buyer, which is going to be like your rate buy downs, straight up just your closing cost for, any type of lending fees, title fees. It can be used towards the fee that you and your buyer's agent have agreed upon. It can be used towards home warranties. It can be used towards repairs, you name it. It is simply put money that sellers are willing or negotiated to give to you to do as you see fit. It just really depends on how it's drawn up, how it's worded. Now, the most common that we are seeing here in the Cleveland area is it's going towards your agent's fee that you agreed upon. That is the most common area that it is going to. But there are other situations where I've had clients and they've put it towards their rate buy down just to try and get that, ease that, upper 6% interest rate to kind of drop it down and help them out as best as they can, which that's the points towards your prepaids, your closing costs, things of that nature. And it's also including potential repairs depending on the situation after the home inspection. So there's a lot of different variables that we could do with these concessions. Now, the reasoning behind why 44% of sellers are offering concessions right now is simply because we have been shifting into a buyer's market. Yes, there's a lot of areas, and Cleveland's one of them, where there are multiple offers that are coming back on homes. However, it doesn't mean that it's not, shifting to the buyer's market and negotiating power is brought back into the buyer's hands from what it used to be for those few years, especially in 21. Now, they're doing it because it not necessarily need it to give to a buyer as a seller for the concessions to sell your house. You don't have to do that. It is your choice to do so as a seller. But there is a chance where you may have a buyer who needs help in those areas if they don't have all the funds to, pay for their agent's fee or to pay for all their closing costs, like the down payment. So they may need that extra help from a seller. And if there is absolutely zero concessions and they need that help and there's nothing they could do about it, well, the buyer can't end up, putting in an offer on your house because they simply can't afford it. And that's just, the facts about things. So is it going to hurt you as a seller? No, I can't say that it will, because you're still going to sell a house, but it'll just bring less buyers. It could bring less buyers into your home to view it if they need to have some form of concession in order to purchase the home. Now, the way around it to take these concessions as a buyer and use them to your advantage. First and foremost, your agent, if you're putting in an offer, they should be asking, is the seller offering any form of concession? In this area, a lot of times the listing agent is saying, yes, they are offering X percentage towards whatever you see fit, whether it is your closing cost or your agent's fee. That's the majority that we are seeing. And the percentage varies. I haven't come across a flat rate personally. I'm sure there is just a flat dollar amount, but so far it's been a percentage if they're given anything. And I would say in this area, it is the vast majority. It's greater than 44%. That's the national average. So that's the first step into figuring out what is capable, what can be done. Now, if you are in a multiple offer situation, you have the funds to pay for everything. Maybe not take all what the seller is offering, because that could be what puts you ahead to get the home. And the only reason why I say that is, yes, me as a buyer's agent, just like every other buyer's agent, we want to buy that house like you want to buy that house. We want to advise you and help you with the process in order to come out with the least amount of money out of pocket. That is always one of our concerns, like our interest for you. But we also have to make sure that we are advising you properly in order to get the home, because the least amount of money out of your pocket, it may shoot you dead in the water with getting that house, and you might not even stand a chance. So if you're asking for all these concessions or all these like different funds to come back to you as a buyer, and there's another 3 offers on the table and they're not asking it, chances are likely you're going to end up losing that offer. But you got to also find out what's most important as well. Now, if they're offering a certain percentage and you agree upon the offer and the inspection comes through, if there's like safety concerns or big concerns, you can still negotiate for the seller to end up covering that. Even though they're already said they're going to cover a certain amount of your concessions to do so, you could still add on to that. The different ways to manipulate it, however, if there are multiple offers, and let's say this isn't one of your forever homes, the best thing you could do, because the average right now is around 10 years that people are staying in the house, just do the math. Have your lender do the math, or you simply do the math, or your agent do the math for you. It's typically best to have the lender do the math if you're taking out a mortgage, because they'll be able to tell you the exact dollar amount. But if the house can comp, and which basically appraise at the value, go over that little bit. So if it has to be, say, $5,000, for example, go over by $5,000, because it may break down, I'm just throwing numbers out here, to, let's say, $15 a month extra. If you're moving within the 10 years, that $15 a month, if it doesn't equal the $5,000, it's less money out of pocket. So that's another way in order to win the offer, but still kind of get money, so you have less money out of pocket up front and in the long run. And I just had a situation where we ended up doing that, because my buyers, as long as everything goes as planned, they're moving. Their goal is around 8 years. So come that 8-year mark, they're not going to spend nearly the amount as they would have if they would have not, essentially bumped up the purchase price in order to get that money. So those are the big ways that we're seeing it here in the Cleveland area in order to negotiate those concessions and still win the offer. Now, for you sellers, like I stated, you could still sell a house and stand firm on 0 concessions and not pay anything out of pocket to the buyer. You can stand firm and say, I am not going to repair anything to this house whatsoever. That's your choice, and you will still sell that house. Will it take longer? Possibly. Some homes, they're going to sell right away. At the end of the day, the house sells itself, plain and simple. That's just how it goes. And the purchase price or the offers that come in, they're going to vary, because again, at the end of the day, the purchase price, the offer price, is going to be what that buyer feels that home is worth. And if they don't feel that it's worth a certain price, they're going to come under. If they feel it's worth a certain price, they're going to give it to you. But I mean, the facts are the facts. And like I stated, if somebody needs help and they can't purchase a house without like a certain percentage of concessions, if you're not given anything, they can't purchase your house. And yeah, I mean, it's common sense, essentially, of if there's less buyers, there's less views, there's less traffic coming in, it could take longer to sell your house. It only takes one person to sell, but ultimately, the more views we get on the home, the more people we have coming through the home, the quicker it's going to sell. It's a numbers game, and numbers don't lie. As far as what the future goes of what I'm projecting and what I'm thinking, I mean, concessions are going to be here. They're not going to go anywhere. They're still going to be negotiating because everything is negotiable. And especially as we move deeper into a buyer's market because the inventory is increasing, which supply and demand, more homes in the market means more options for the buyers, which puts it into the buyer's market. And then sellers are the ones that need to start giving up more, where the previous years that we've had, buyers were giving up everything they could to get a house, and sellers weren't giving up anything at all. And it was simply supply and demand. Inventory is increasing. Buyers are going to have way more power as time goes on. So I think we're going to see concessions to stay steady and increase. And, you know, at the end of the day, if you're a seller, have your agent give you a net sheet so you know what you're going to make at each purchase price. And, you know, get different numbers because you got to be comfortable with what you're going to walk away from. And as a buyer, you got to be comfortable with what you're about to walk into. And if you need help with the concessions, you got to also make sure your agent knows how to negotiate it properly. Because again, you may have to put it essentially into the mortgage, which is just the purchase price. It has nothing to do with concessions actually going into it. It's just what you're offering for the house, so it has to comp for it if you are taking out a mortgage. Because it could end up saving you in the long run where, you know, instead of paying the full 100%, you may only pay 50%, 60%, 20%. There's so many different variables. Let me know in the comments down below if you need any help with this, if I have explained it well enough for you, or, you know, also let me know your story if you purchased. I want to hear, like, what were you able to negotiate as a buyer? And if you're a seller and you sold a house quickly without giving concessions, I'd love to hear from you as well. If you got any value from the video, smash the like button. It's greatly appreciated. And again, if you do need help or you want to use me as a resource for this area, or if you just have general questions, I can help you out because I got plenty of agents throughout the whole US that I can get you in contact with. Here's my personal number. Contact me, let me know. I'm happy to help you out. I got people just like you reaching out to me every single week. If you haven't already and you're new to my channel, be sure to click subscribe and turn notifications on so you can stay up to date on my future videos I got coming your way.